flows been deadly, these gatekeepers just wouldn't let me rock out like I'm Tom Petty. You already know I'm already swerving, ready, war ready. I'm raw Eddie on black streets, I'm on Teddy. 4-4, every cartoon, Messi, the Lord Testament. No money like all game, my mama said, anxiety in every fickle vision, but everything everybody resurrect me. The Lord said he would be said, go hard, go all in, but don't get my eyes lit so that good hate and protect me. I'm really on with that gun drawn, y'all know respect me. I am seen correctly, and first person already. Y'all just strings is catchy. I rock mics to tell me, while my tech connects me. Big friends, friends with me. Metal agendas to tell me, I am a fucking person. Stay home, watch who you show love, watch where they hate, watch how you conversate with these snakes. They call your eyes hungry, watch how you move on the block, watch out for the ops, watch where the block, the drivers and drop. Watch, stay home, watch who you call in your fam, call your right hand, beware betrayal comes with the plan, my fucking eyes open. Watch out for these hoes, they down with your foes, they're pretty down, look, get your line up. Short fuse, my thoughts bruised, they all smooth, solid, get the moves, they heads line, my voice fast, it's Ice Cube, softball pointers, the night move, the 24 flames, my life move, I sound like old train in the right move, try to speak me in the mic fuse, came with the right tools, crossing that line, you might lose, I write lightning to ignite moves, shine all day for the night moves, I move in the dark when I strike fools, pretty means smart like they like you, they want it smiling, want it just like you, transparent, I can see right through, that part they look just like you, with no remorse, the bullets rip right through, infrared laser, I like you, don't make me long kiss, good night you, pretenders get checked like a night shoe, my punchlines hit them like right food, gangster like Chicago disciples, maintaining going through cycles, and after these rappers you cycle, my content keep it insightful, I take your mind through it like life do, I'm like the same house that spike you, public enemy despite who, challenges and struggles I write through, banging instrumentals I write to, people don't tell me I just write to, we write to, say yo, watch who you show love, watch what they conversate with these snakes, on your eyes, watch out for the ops, watch for the block, the drivers and drop, watch, say yo, watch who you call in your fam, call your right hand, beware betrayal comes with a plan, my fucking eyes open, watch out for these hoes, they down with your foes, they're pretty down, they're reaching lined up, who watching, who scheming, who plotting, who hating, drop topping, who holding, who guiding, who threatening, who falling, who sliding, acting like you can't stop, in depth, my context is complex, it's complex, it's complex, from all depth, it's all purpose, it's all rest, it's all rest, and I'm all rest for the contest, all test, all dialects to the side effects, no eyes, no excuse, you die next, you try next, shit, up in the high range of the project, full of rush, what if I step, but I check, can't sweat in a blind object, get object, I'm a target, like a hard hit with a hard shit, see the hard spit, dialogue, sit and soft it, with the logic, with a long switch on the opposite, I'm a sergeant, on the bar shit, I can rise it, get the bit harder than cars, take on my jaw, like my shell large, extra large, going hard, going hard, metal, no retarded, with the dog shit, with the started, pretty started, like a hard, like a hard, movie star chicks on the market, trying to find a way to celebrity bag off, yo, watch who you show love, watch where they hate, watch how you conversate with these snakes, and on your eyes hungry, watch how you move on the block, watch out for the ops, watch for the block, the drivers and drop, watch, watch who you call in your fam, call your right hand, beware betrayal comes with the plan, my fucking eyes open, watch out for these hoes, they down with your foes, they're pretty down, look, get your line up, who watching, who scheming, who plotting, who hating, drop topping, who holding, who plotting, who threatening, who falling, who sliding, acting like you can't stop.
DJ High Grade, they're not the building, done.
Now tune in to No Filter Radio, one of the hottest stations around the world, with my homegirl, Just Blaze.
Welcome to No Filter Radio with your girl Just Blaze. We got DJ High Grade in the building.
Yep.
We're shaking and baking.
What's good, baby?
I am so not into it today for some reason. I just don't feel 100%. But as my grandmother would say, pa'lante, which means push forward.
Alright.
This weather sucks. I think it's the weather too that's getting me in a icky mood because I hate the cold. And it was just 75 degrees yesterday?
Yeah.
No, the day before
Day
yesterday?
before.
The day before yesterday, for like 2 days straight. It was like 75 degrees. Had people thinking it was summertime. Everybody was outside with their ass out.
It was
And
cooking.
shorts and all that good stuff. And I kept saying, this is pneumonia weather. People don't listen, and now they're probably sick. But that's not my problem. Roman was good. Happy Taco Tuesday. I have not eaten a taco in so long, and I need some tacos. Hopefully I'll probably make some tacos tomorrow. Taco don't sound bad right now either because I'm hungry.
You ain't eat nothing all day.
I have not eaten. Well, I had.
Did you have
Oh, I
breakfast?
did. I had a hood meal today, simply because I didn't have cinnamon to make French toast. I wanted to make French toast, and I couldn't make French toast because I had no cinnamon, and I had hard oat bread too, man. I want to get that shit so bad. So I opted for the hood meal, and mind you, this is like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking 9 o'clock in the morning, and I made rice and corned beef with potatoes.
Wow.
And soup and fucking yams.
That's not a hood meal.
Well, the corned beef is a hood meal.
That's corned beef hash.
Corned beef, yeah, I know, I love that shit.
It's not a hood meal.
So it was good, and I got full fast.
It used to be a poor man meal, but corned beef by itself is like
that's what I mean.
damn near $10.
That shit is hella expensive. If you catch that shit on sale, then you're lucky. Yo, it's that California snack that makes your legs go back. Oh, Lord. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Anyway, so, yeah, I had corned beef with white rice and some yams. And that's it. Now I'm hungry. That was this morning. I'm hungry now. But I ain't gonna eat no tacos today. I'm gonna eat some tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar for that. What does that mean? Bet your bottom dollar.
Bet your bottom dollar.
What does that mean? Bet your bottom dollar.
I wonder if it refers to some pimp shit.
Bet your bottom dollar. I need somebody to Google that for me. Hey Siri, what does bet your bottom dollar mean? I want to know where that derived from. That's an old school shit, but I want to know where that derived from.
Her phone is yelling at her right now because she said, "Hey Siri."
Oh, your phone?
And she's an Android.
Oh.
She ain't no Siri.
Siri don't have the answers anywhere.
No. You gotta
Siri
say
confused.
Alexa. Only Alexa.
Alexa's just as confused too. Alexa don't listen to me. I be like, Alexa, and my son's Alexa goes off in his room. And then he yells at me because he's like, Mom, stop talking so loud because you're setting off my Alexa. But I'm like, my Alexa don't hear me. And my shit be like right there, right next to me. I even changed her name because I didn't realize you could change your name or something. So I changed it to, it was something with a B. It was,
I hope it wasn't Bonquisha.
Bigsby? No, it was something with a B. So I started calling him that, and the fucker still wasn't listening. So now I reverted back to Alexa.
Maybe.
So sometimes I gotta be like right on the freaking Alexa, and I be like, Alexa, play hip hop and R&B 2000s.
Wow.
And she be like, ahora estamos jugando la música con... And I'm like, bitch, how did you get bilingual on me? Like, fuck.
Probably gotta
Should
buy
just start
her.
talking Spanish out of nowhere.
Probably gotta buy her a hearing aid.
I need to throw her away. Throw her Alexa away.
Wow.
I don't even be using it. I forget to use it sometimes. I should just be sitting there. I forgot I could connect this to my phone. It's just mad shit. What I love to do, honestly, what I really love to do, and my son is so pissed off that he put me onto this, is that I could drop into his Alexa. So all I gotta do is go into my phone, into my Alexa app, right? And I see his Alexa, so I do voice drop. So basically, it calls his Alexa. It don't even call. That shit just goes boom, and I be like, "Yo, wake up!" So I hear myself saying, "Yo, wake!" Like I hear myself, you know what I mean? And he be like, "Mom," and he be like, "Alexa," he be like, "Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop!" He be trying to get the Alexa to stop, and then I'll do it again. I be like, and he goes, and you hear the thing go.
Oh, I got the dot.
The dot, yeah. So you voice drop on that shit.
See, I got the show.
That shit be hella fucking funny.
I got the show, so what I be doing is I got mine in the living room. So I can spy on mine. I leave my camera on.
Oh, no, I ain't doing
so,
that.
so I pop in on the kids, I be like, yo.
I don't want to see what my
Cause me and Spring got two different controllers.
Yeah.
If that nigga pick up my shit.
Oh, man.
I be like, nah, nigga.
Nah, my son is an Xbox.
Use your shit.
My son is an Xbox guy, so we don't have to do this shit. Yeah, he's a PS4 guy, but he don't be in my shit. He be too stuck on the Xbox. But yeah, so this shit is crazy. It's so funny when I do the voice drop on him, because I do it when he least expects it.
It really.
And then what's worse is that he's screwed if he was listening to music the night before and he had the music loud, because all he did is tell Alexa to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
So the volume is still at max, you know. So then here I come chiming in, and his mama's on max volume, you know what I mean? And it shocks the shit out of him.
Y'all spaz out too.
So I find that pretty entertaining. Cool things about being a parent, because they can't say shit. But yeah. So this evening, this is actually shout out to everybody on TikTok too, by the way. We got California on the check-in. We had the Bronx. Shout out to Roman on the check-in for convincing me too to go live on TikTok today, because I don't go live on my TikTok when I'm doing my show, but I figure I'd give it a shot, see how the feedback is, you know, see how the response is and the conversation goes over here. But yeah, this evening we're gonna be talking about men and depression. It's like it gets brought up, but it's just like, all right, it gets brought up, but then there's no conversation that follows up behind it. You know, there's no open forum or space for men to feel comfortable enough to say, you know, I'm in here and have a casual conversation amongst people who, you know,
right.
are dealing with pretty much the same things that I'm dealing with.
Well,
because everybody is dealing with, you know, I don't want people to think that, men especially, but you know, you can't think that you're the only person dealing with the things that you're dealing with. There are people that are dealing with what you're dealing with, and some people that are dealing with worse things.
Yeah, because believe it or not, and the situation with mental instability in men is extremely high, and the proof is in the suicide rate. Because more men kill themselves than females.
Men under 50 are more, I guess, prone is a safe word to use.
Yeah. I figure when you get to 50s and 60s, you like, damn. It don't make no sense now. I done made it past all that extra shit.
No, I think maybe at that age they just learn how to
cope better.
Either cope, or finally express how they feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I can see the expression part, because at that point it's like, yo, I really don't care how you feel anymore.
I just wish that narrative was never the way it was growing up for kids as a whole, from down to when I was growing up. You know, this shit dates back.
Yeah, because it always.
Born. It was always men don't cry, men don't show no emotion. You know, you a
because
pussy.
that make you soft.
You a pussy if you cry. You soft if you cry.
Yeah.
This, that, and third, and it's like that is not the case. Like people forget that we're all human,
Right.
and people forget that we all have feelings, and we have feelings. You know, if you go right now and bang your pinky toe, you think you're gonna start laughing? No, you're gonna be in freaking pain.
Yeah.
And you might shed a freaking tear because who knows how hard you bang that shit. You don't even know the damage that you caused to your foot. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no might about that.
Same thing with me. I banged the shit out of my toe. I'm not gonna be laughing. I'm gonna be the first one fucking crying. I'm gonna be acting like my shit fell off.
I tell you one thing, I'd be cursing my ass off.
You know, but it's like this.
Yeah.
The fact that men are deemed to just not show emotion is sad and it sucks. And I feel what makes it even worse, and some women might look at me crazy because here I am siding with men again. But you know, some women can be toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And their toxicity can also add, you know, to the depression and the stress that these men are dealing with.
Very much so.
You know, and that's why that term about, you know, be his peace it's a very real and strong term. You know what I mean?
It really is. Now, a lot of females fail to realize, like, with the guy, he don't say nothing because if he say something, he's soft. Good guys finish last. Every dude knows that. And it feels like once the minute you break down and show that side of you, you become the good guy. You become that soft guy. And now there's a vulnerability there. And if she sees it, everybody else can see it. And it picks at you. It's almost, and I've been through it a few times now. It's almost like some of them will see the little wound. It's like a scab and pick at it.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I think is a double standard? Mm-hmm. That women, you know, we have these women, and I'm excluding myself out of this because I'm a married woman. But you have women that are out there that they want and they look and they yearn to be ever so, you know, and handle her with care and be gentle with her and just do these, these soft and gentle things and, like have her on like cloud nine. And,
but
you know what I'm saying?
To be rough and
but
hard
you're
like
not. But that same man is not allowed to express his feelings to you.
Right.
He's not allowed to cry in front of you because you're gonna automatically say he's a pussy.
Right.
As opposed to supporting him and saying, "Hey, baby, what's wrong with you? What's going on? How can I help you? How can we go through? How can we work through this?" You know, like I don't that part I don't get.
Right.
How do you demand and say, "Oh, you ain't shit if you ain't doing this, A, B, and C." But again, you're just limited to your emotions. You can only express those soft emotions because they cater to her, and they're to her benefit.
The other ones you gotta hide.
The moment you have feelings for yourself
you gotta
and
hide
feelings
them.
that you want to express,
you gotta hide them.
You gotta box that shit in.
Yep. And you can't express them with nobody because even your boys will look at that as a moment of weakness and take over whatever slot or
see, that's
well,
the
that's
thing.
not
That's the company you keep.
That's not everyone.
That's why
much.
people around you can also add to you being depressed also. It's the company you keep, the people that are around you. People that are around you can be toxic also.
That's correct.
They could be giving you the wrong advice. They could just be the type of people that you shouldn't be around because you shouldn't be in that type of space or environment because it's just not good for you.
Right.
It's not healthy for you. It's not progressive for you. It's not beneficial to you.
But that,
you know what I'm saying?
With all of that, is the same reason why most guys don't express their emotions, because you never know exactly which one is it.
They don't know what chick is gonna be the gentle.
It's not even just a chick. It could be the dude next to you, and you don't know. He'll sit there and listen to you.
No, definitely. No, I'm speaking as far as in a female perspective. Yeah. There'll be women that there's that this much. I couldn't even put a percentage on it, but there's like this much amount of women who actually care and are sympathetic to men's feelings, and they understand and they know. And even sometimes, it's about being considerate of a man's upbringing. Exactly. And what he's been through in his life. Exactly. And what's been taken from him or robbed from him. Or what things like that. The lack of love maybe his mother didn't give him. Mm-hmm. The absent father. Mm-hmm. The child abuse. Yeah. It's so much shit, you know what I mean? And then yet this bitch over here, she's been raised with a silver spoon in her mouth. Mm-hmm.
And even so, some of them that claim, okay, say you had a rough childhood, not being that rough, but it's rough, right? You didn't have a dad, moms wasn't all that cool, or she wasn't all the way around because dad wasn't there, whatever the situation is, right? But the shorty that you with had it way worse. You know what I'm saying? She was abused, she was abandoned, she was by herself since 13, 14, yada yada, was on the street, now she lived with you, or she lived here, she lived there, she did everything she did by herself and got on her own. Mm-hmm. Now, you can't bring up your past, because your past doesn't equal hers. You can't mention nothing soft, because she's harder than you. So you gotta try to be extra harder than her, even though she knows exactly who you are to begin with. See what I'm saying? Now you always stuck in this pretending role. And a lot of dudes don't realize that it's a lot of the stress and the problems and the frustration and aggravation, all of that, comes from the girl that you're actually attracted to. You switch who you're attracted to, or stop even just liking that girl. A lot of times the stress will go away. But it's easier said than done.
Let the choir say amen.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Sound like the preacher. You're listening. I'm glad that my words of wisdom have resonated into your brain.
Hey.
And have made sense. However, although you haven't applied what I said, it has not been applied to your life. It's not been applied. However, the fact that you were able to reiterate
exactly what you said.
I sound real all bougie and shit. The fact that you took the time to reiterate what I have drilled in your head. That's why I have gray hairs, people. That's why I cover my gray hairs. All my gray hairs are in here. In this little fucking wraparound thingy right here, my gray hairs are there. They really are. I hide them though. Aside from my baby hairs are good. But yeah.
But that's just one part of the mental stress that most men go through.
Fuck women. I feel that the biggest issue is a man, his upbringing, the things that he's dealt with as a child. I think that just plays an extreme role. And yeah, it plays a big part.
Yeah.
In his adulthood. Shit that kids see when they're young. I remember shit vividly, like certain events vividly. Like I'm talking about, I could just close my eyes and I'm there. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about events when I was like 3-4 years old that we think to ourselves when we see kids at that age, we're like, ain't no way you gonna fucking remember this shit.
Yeah.
And it be that shit that they remember. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait, but that was me. Like, if I can remember shit from back then, You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now, again, I've been in that situation too. And it's crazy because your upbringing means a lot. A lot of dudes, it's a 50-50 shot.
Love is very important. If you have children,
Be
love
it.
them down. I'm talking about love them down. Kiss them.
Yep.
Kiss them till you cannot kiss them anymore. Hug them.
The kids mean a lot.
Tell them
bro.
you love them every single day. Like, don't skip a beat. Like, just tell them how proud you are of them. You know, motivate them, inspire them. You know, allow them to think for themselves. You know,
Exactly.
but just love them, yo. I can't stress enough. Love on your children, yo. Love them down, because there are so many children out here who don't have parents, and there are so many kids out here who have dirtbag parents that don't give a fuck about them. They don't care about them. You know how many of my son's friends, when my son was in junior high school, you know how many of my son's friends used to come to my house in the morning for breakfast?
Yeah.
For breakfast. And I'm here beating like 20 eggs, okay? To make egg and cheese sandwiches and
For
bacon, egg, and
everybody.
cheese sandwiches for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Same amount of coming to my crib to have fucking lunch when they get out of school.
Man.
Because I'm cooking.
Exactly.
And they know that my son's crib is the crib.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yo, your mom's got food, word. Your mom's be cooking, yo, word. Yo, what's good? Because they know I'll feed a village if I could do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my upbringing. That was my kids' upbringing. All their friends came to my house after school, before school. I just left my crib, and there's 4 of them in there now. They've been there since early this morning.
Yeah, it's
They gonna meet each other at
stress that
work.
enough. Like, that shit would literally, it would break my heart when these kids would come to my house, and it got to the point where all my son's friends call me mom.
Yeah.
I was mom. I was like, how about that social security number, though? No, so I can claim you at the end of the year, you know what I'm saying? But seriously, like, I was mom. And then I was a cool biker mom on top of that, you know what I'm saying? So that was like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like when I found out I was having kids at the age I was.
Absolutely, queen.
In my head, in the beginning, I was like, damn, I'm a statistic. I wanted to.
We're all
But
statistics.
then, in the same note, I'll tell you this much. My kids are now grown. They're 18 and 19. I'll say this much, right? I grew up with my kids. Not in the note to where we both was children.
I love the fact that I grew up with my son.
I grew up
Me
with
too.
my
I
kids.
grew up with
And
my
the
son
fact
too.
that I grew up with my kids, I feel like I made a better connection with my children that
Absolutely.
I couldn't have made if I was older. Or, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it made me a better man. And it made my children better as, you know what I'm saying, young adults.
Listen, there's things that my son, okay, not daughter, a boy, my son, and he has a whole dad and everything. He got men in his family that are there and active, you know what I'm saying? But there are things that my son talks to me about, like he'll just come up to me and start talking to me about, and I'll just be like,
Yeah.
I don't question it, but in my head, I'm like, he doesn't have to talk to me about these things. Like, these are conversations that he would normally have a conversation with his dad, or like with his uncle.
Right. With
a
male figure.
A male figure. But he feels that comfortable enough to have these conversations with me about. He talks to me about girls all the time. He talks to me about all these, if he meets a girl, he talks to me about her. Like, nah, this is how I'm feeling.
Right.
Or I don't know what like he literally talks to me, and I just be like, I'm so grateful for that.
Right.
But again, it's because of the attention that I've given my child.
Right.
Like, I can't stress that shit enough. Love on your kids, because the lack of love will affect them. It won't affect them only in a personal way, but it'll affect them socially.
Right. Like, with my daughter, As a man, when you have a daughter, the first thing you start thinking of is how you was as a kid. And what's going to happen to your daughter if she runs into a little you. And it starts to kind of trip you out and bug you out. As my daughter became old enough, 16, 17, 18, I was worried about these things. But I didn't really press her. I wasn't on her back. I wasn't running through her phone. I was doing what a parent does. I had a little thing where I used to pop up on my kids randomly, in random places. I wouldn't tell them where I'm coming from or nothing. I just randomly pop up and then walk the fuck away.
It was very, very sneaky.
You know what I'm saying? Just on some, hey, what's up? Hey, I see you. And then move, keep on pushing like we just passed each other on the street and keep it pushing. So, in a way, I kind of instilled in their head, daddy's everywhere. We can run into daddy anywhere. So let's not do anything that daddy's going to be upset at if we run into him doing this or doing that. But then in the same note, I never really worried about my kids doing that. My daughter actually waited till she turned 18 to get with her boyfriend. He used to come to my crib all the time. And they was friends. I used to watch my daughter. She used to have a bunch of dudes around her, but all of them was friends. All of them came to my crib, so I knew all of them was friends. And they'd be on the phone all the time, but her and him be on the phone more than anybody. Soon as she turned 18, that was her boyfriend.
She made it official.
They made it official. And she came to me and told me. And he came to me and talked to me. I respected the hell out of it. Right now, they're sitting in my crib on the couch. He goes get her from work. She chills with him and helps him with his homework. He helps her with her homework. They're just like...
two peas in a pie.
Exactly.
We have to trust and believe that they will do the right thing. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Queen. Like, the reason why it's so easy to say that, well, I'm going to speak for myself, but the reason why it's so easy to say that is because, again, it's because of how we raised them. My son knows right from wrong. He knows what good and bad is. You understand? You know, I've instilled in him since he could comprehend my motto, pay it forward. You know, like, always just do good to people because it's going to come back to you 10 times fold no matter what. Don't expect shit when you do shit. And if you do shit from your heart, you know?
Right. Definitely.
I always told him, you know, treat women the way you want people to treat your mother and the women that you love in your family to be treated.
Yep.
You know, my son never raised a hand at a woman. He's never called a chick out of her name.
I can't say the same.
You know, like, I mean, everybody's different, but, you know, like, I've taught him not to do that because you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
I'm not proud of it. I've done it.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like,
any female that's been around me, and Jess will tell you, I call every female empress off jump. I don't care if I know you or don't know you.
It's just I feel like the lack of upbringing, fucked up upbringing plays a very pivotal role in men who suffer from depression. And I'm not saying all men, because I'm not saying that all men that have dealt with whatever they dealt with growing up are subjected to, you know, falling into depression. That would be a lie, you know what I'm saying? But there's a large amount that do and that are affected. Especially the ones that really, like, want love. The ones that are... Because like I said, and I say this because of these kids that used to come to my house, like... I'm a hug person. I'm a Cancer. I'm an affectionate person. And if I got love for you, I'm gonna show you the love that I got for you. You know, so I grew a love for these kids. And every time they would come to my house, I would hug them. I'm talking about like bear hug them, like hey, you know what I'm saying? So they would hug me just as tight.
Right.
And then when I'm like about to let go, they still holding on to me. You know what I'm saying? And that shit would break my heart, yo. I'll be like, yo, oh my God, like, damn, man, like, I want to hug you too, but...
Yeah.
So, loving your children, because...
You know what's hurting me?
It's hard out there. And in this society nowadays, too, with so many young kids getting killed and young kids carrying guns and young kids robbing, it's disgusting.
Now, I'm not really worried about my son with that stuff, but what I am worried about my son with is it took me a minute to even accept the fact that I was depressed. Several years, almost. Matter of fact, I could go with a decade to say that I was depressed. And it may have been ignorant for me to think so, but I always thought that depression and other stuff, mental diseases of that nature, was more of something that you can get over with, you know what I'm saying, mental, like, get over it. Get over it, nigga. Like, I'm that old school.
You owe me $1.
Oh. But I'm that old school, so it was always get over it and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's all in your head. Let it go. Stop dwelling on it and push on. That's always the way I looked at it up until recently. I dealt with my grandmother passing. Nobody know how I dealt with it. I don't know how I dealt with it. I just packed it in there. The stuff with my kids' moms, just the stuff that I've been through in the last 2 decades, it's just all been packed into a bottle. And it wasn't until I talked to a therapist this year that I actually start to feel better. The problem with that is I see the same traits in my son. He pack in everything.
So you need to get him help now.
I try to.
And?
He's just like me. And he sees things in the same manner. My thing is...
So then you need to be a pillar and let him know how it's affected you.
And that's what I've done. So when I went to therapy, I didn't keep it a secret. I let it be known to him. I even talked to him about some of my sessions and so on, and what I went through, because I know a lot of it is the same stuff that he's going through right now. My grandmother passed and was buried on his birthday.
Oh, wow.
And he was real close to my grandmother, just like I was. So, you know what I'm saying? And then with all the other crap that happened to us in the last years, you know, he never showed any kind of, like, nothing. Like, and I know exactly what he was doing. It just goes in the bottle. Go in the bottle. And just so that the bottle don't explode, you go off in the corner and pull a little bit out. Pull a little bit out. And then put more shit back in the bottle. And put more. And I see him doing it, but he does express himself. And he doesn't pack it in like how I did. He doesn't keep himself secluded. But his eruptions are violent. Like, not physically violent, but verbally violent. And emotionally violent. Like, when he blow, he blow. He's going to tell you everything right then and there. Don't care how you feel about it.
That's not good.
And a lot of the times it gets nasty. So I don't know exactly how to coax him to make him move faster.
311.
Without forcing him, like, listen, this is because our relationship has never been a forced situation.
I know, but he also has to understand and know that you're his father and that you mean well, and if you're telling him, you know, what's best for him. He's not 18 yet, right?
He'll be 18 on the 24th.
Oh, yeah.
My freedom day.
And after that, then you can't even worry about what you're talking about right now. Because then he's a man.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't deal with it. You can only voice your opinion. You can't enforce anything.
Right.
So unless you're trying to enforce something now, then, you know.
And
but
we're like in the like, twilight hour, so it's like,
yeah, well,
it's a chance, but it's a slim chance. But I mean, I don't think he's like far gone to where it's going to be an issue or a problem, like as far as life threatening or, you know what I'm saying, towards anybody else. But it's something that
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to hinder him.
You don't want him to get into a relationship and he gets into a regular casual disagreement with his girlfriend and then he starts verbally abusing her. Verbal abuse is abuse. You know what I mean? It's still abuse. So
Yes, I do know that.
hopefully, gets better from it. But well, you never know. Maybe as he gets older, he might mature and maybe be more in control of his feelings too. Or it could be his environment, people that he's around and stuff like that. You know?
That too. Now, I blame myself
You
because
just gotta change your environment. I was just
he
saying
has
that
watched
before.
me do it. He watched me do it for a long time. And it wasn't until, like I said, it wasn't until this year I actually went and sought help. He watched me break down. He watched me fall apart. He watched me erupt. Right. I've been to that spot where I was ready to take everybody out. That absolutely I don't care mode. I've been there. And it took me a minute to walk away from that. But I've been there. And he's seen me at my lowest. But every time I've hit that spot, they're the ones that actually broke me out. It's always been my kids. My daughter's always been the one to, hey dad, I see you. And she'll just say a couple words and walk away. Those kind of things, even though as small as they are, they resonate and echo and they sit with you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times that pulls you through, but the mental thing is alright. So lately I've been chilling with a group of guys, like you say, change your environment. I have a few people, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eddie J, Ricky Appleseed, Gerald Hanson. Well, we sit down, we conversate, we brothers. So when I'm stressing, I can call him and we'll talk. You know
That's what's needed more. More men are needed to be friends, and not to just be that dude that I hang with or I smoke with or I drink with. You could do that, yeah, but can you sit down and have a conversation? Can you confide in a person that if you become completely transparent and full of emotion that you won't be judged?
Right. And I think it's because all of us pretty much been in the same slot while we kind of like sit down and conversate.
I mean, yeah, granted, but even if whoever wasn't in those situations, you should still be compassionate about other people's feelings. And that's the problem, that society lacks compassion. Society lacks so much compassion, it's disgusting. And it's like literally poured down to children, because there are so many kids out here that are so arrogant and so ignorant and so disrespectful that I just look at them and I'm like, yo, I want to choke your mama out for not raising you properly.
Man, listen.
You know what I'm saying? I just be like, seriously, you know what I mean? And then I look over to my left or I look over to my right if my son happens to be with me, and I just be like, so proud of the human that I've created and raised, because you make me proud, because you are not a stigma. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I ensured that my son was not going to be a stigma to society.
Yeah. I made sure that I wasn't going to be, like, even though I became a statistic, yeah, we all statistics.
We're all statistics.
I was going to keep mine's different. I was always going to be different. That's all I said to myself. I was going to be different. I'm going to be different than my father. I'm going to be different from this one. I'm going to be different from that one. I'm going to set myself apart. from everybody. Just so that when my kids follow me, they would be set apart from everybody. You know, I made it to where I can fit in anywhere and stand out everywhere.
That's how it should be.
You know? And my thing to all the guys that are going through their little mental issues, those that know about it and don't want to talk about it, those that don't know about it, and those who try to act like it never really existed. Talk about it. If even
and weed and liquor is not the cure, guys.
No, it's not. In fact,
weed and liquor with your homies is not the cure. That's just y'all chilling. But if you really want to have conversations, speak with a professional, honestly. That's the best advice that I can give.
We just gonna make you dwell on it more.
Because your friends are only gonna have but so much
alcohol is gonna make you act on it. You know, talk to somebody. If even self, here's one thing that used to help me when I started talking to my therapist, and then there's times where you can't talk to your therapist. I put my phone on record and just talk into the camera.
That's a good thing.
And I just say everything that I'm feeling right into the camera. You know what I'm saying? So now, and I don't know why y'all would act like this sounds crazy, but now your phone is like somebody that you're talking to, but y'all be talking to your phone all the damn time. So,
not only that, but that's probably a good thing to do also, because if you go back and listen to what you were going on talking about, then it can give you clarity.
You can build on it.
Yeah. Or be like on some, what the fuck was I talking about?
Exactly.
Like, what was I thinking about when I was saying this shit? Or maybe I was overreacting, or, maybe this wasn't that big of a deal, and then just makes you humble yourself a little bit more.
It levels yourself. I'm telling you. Because it worked. I still sit back. I got the videos.
I talk to myself all the time. I even answer myself too.
Alright, see, my therapist said
I answer myself all day, every day.
Answer yourself.
I gotta make sure I ain't gonna ignore myself. I gotta get an answer. So ain't nobody around. I gotta answer myself. So I be like, "What you said? Like, did you hear me?"
Now I'll be looking at you like, okay. Okay, which just am I talking to? Left or right?
I don't know. I closed my eyes and did a turn.
Is it left Jess or right Jess? I like left Jess.
All I'm saying
it's like a Twix.
All I'm saying is, fellas, life is not easy. And this goes for women too, I don't want to just say, man, this goes all across the board for men and women. Generally speaking, if you're going through something, don't be, we hear this all the time. Don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. That's the first thing they're afraid to do, is to fucking talk and reach out to somebody. But just know that you're not alone, even if you feel like you're alone. And even if you feel like you don't have no family, there is going to be somebody that's out there that will care about how you feel. There are people out there that genuinely care about strangers, and they build with them, and they wind up helping them, and so on and so forth.
That's a fact.
There's help out there.
Yep.
There's help out there.
I'm one of them.
Speak. Men, be transparent. I can't stress that enough. I always used to say, you're only a real man if you cry. I respect men that cry. I really do.
That don't mean you cry all the time.
If you're an emotional person, then you're an emotional person.
Nah.
I'm an emotional person. I cry for a lot of shit. I cry for the dumbest shit in the world.
That don't mean you gotta cry because your ice cream fell on the floor.
I would cry if my ice cream fell on the floor. Especially if it had chocolate sprinkles.
You could throw a fit though.
If it had chocolate sprinkles, I'm teardropping. I'm crying.
You could throw a fit though. What the?
No, I'm throwing the fit and then I'm following up with the
Throw the
teardrops.
fit, but
We're
the
crying
tears
right
might
out
be a
there.
little
We
much
mad
for the
as hell.
dudes.
Nope. Not for me.
Tears might be a little much unless you like 6 or 7 years old.
But yeah, seek help. And even if you don't know a number, 311,
Yeah.
you know.
But yo, speaking of that, if you work for 311, speak to your boss, man, because sometimes y'all a little slow, and I tried it. It aggravated me, and that kind of stuff could be frustrating for that kind of thing could be frustrating for somebody who's trying to talk to somebody and looking out for help, and all you keep hearing is please hold and stupid ass elevator music.
No, you know what? Fuck 311. Google
Yeah.
hotline. Depression hotline. Or even, you can even type in I'm depressed, I need help. Literally, you can just literally type that in and a lot of shit will pop up.
If you got Medicaid, you get help real quick.
And there's health insurance out there too.
Yeah, definitely jump on it.
Resources are out there, things are out there, people
Don't
are
feel
there.
ashamed. Don't feel down. Don't feel like, yo, that makes you soft. It doesn't. If you want to keep it to yourself, then keep it to yourself. Disappear for like an hour or two a week. Meditation helps.
And try to do something that you enjoy doing.
Yes.
Oh, and coloring. Coloring, believe it or not, is a very mental stimulant. I love coloring. I love it. As a matter of fact, I have to get some coloring books. I love coloring.
If you got a pet, get a pet.
Yes.
The dog really helped me out.
What are they called again?
Emotional support.
Emotional support dogs. And emotional support
I got
dogs.
me a pet. He really helped me out. I just, whenever I'm stressed, I sit down and...
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, man. All that stuff helps. If you got kids, chill with your kids. They just like the pets. They could pick up on that.
And if you feel like there's something wrong with your child, you feel like there's something off with them, even if you have to drill in their head like a million times, like what's wrong, next day, oh, by the way, what's wrong, no, you're not going to eat today, what's wrong, until it comes out, do so, because it will come out eventually. And like I said, if you have that inkling, then as a parent, 99.9999%, you're right.
Yeah.
So go with that inkling, because that's a silent cry.
Thanks.
Because children, especially, if you think an adult doesn't know how to talk,
yeah,
just imagine children.
They ain't gonna know exactly how to come at you.
And I leave you with this. Kumse, kumsa. Stop. Seriously, be a good person, like I always say. Be a good person. Be compassionate. There's too many fucked up people in this world.
Yep. Be
Too
different.
many evil people. Be the change you want to see.
Matter of fact, I don't like that word different. Be unique.
Stay unique, like my clothing brand.
There you go.
Stay unique.
Shameless plug.
But yeah.
Merch coming soon.
I hope people really, really, really seek help if they need it. And even if you don't know how to seek it and you need help finding it, shoot me a message and I'll help you out too. I'm all for helping people and guiding people and, pointing them into the right direction,
Facts. My fingers what I could point to.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that? That's my lighter. I was like, what is that red thing in the camera? But yeah, y'all already know the deal. Same time, same place next week. No Filter Radio, Just Blaze, DJ High Grade.
Yep. I'm about to go get her aspirin.
Out of here.
Deuces.
Peace, y'all.